Appendix 4. The lack of epistemological self-consciousness. The notable and marked lack of epistemological self-consciousness which marks the modern humanistic scientific establishment is very sharply illustrated by Weston Labarre, Professor of Anthropology at Duke University, especially in his work, The Ghost Dance, Origins of Religion, 1970. What purports to account scientifically for religion is a militant attack on it. The temper of the book appears in the dedication, quote, "To my fathers of the flesh and of the spirit, who posed me these problems, and to Jean-François Lefebvre, Chevalier de la Barre, burned at the stake in Abbeville, 1st of July, 1766, at the age of 18. In this spirit, La Barre proceeds with the emphatic determination to burn the idea of supernatural religion at the stake of quote-unquote science. The first paragraph of his preface declares, quote, "This book is a psychological and anthropological study in religion. Naturalistically approached, human religion turns out to be an entirely human phenomenon and entirely derived from the nature of human nature. Religion has never been explainable in the terms provided by religion, and the long search for knowledge of the God or of God has given us no knowledge whatever that is acceptable to all men. Why not then look carefully at man himself for an understanding of this human phenomenon?" End quote. Let us analyze this statement from the standpoint of Christianity. What Labarre is saying is that no evidence will be considered, and nothing will be deemed admissible as evidence unless it is naturalistic. On this premise, quite logically, the only evidence present is naturalistic and shows religion to be an, quote, entirely human product, end quote. After all, if we rule out beforehand every and any consideration of the reality of biblical religion, then it follows that it can give us, quote, no knowledge whatever that is acceptable to all men, end quote. Of course, Labarre's evidence is also not, quote, acceptable to all men, end quote, but it is obvious by all men that Labarre admits only men like himself into standing as men. A more naive epistemological statement than this paragraph by Labarre, especially the second sentence, is difficult to imagine. Let us alter the application a bit to make clear the implications of Labarre's position. If we determine beforehand that's the only way to understand Weston Labarre, John Doe, the reader, and myself is as psychopaths, then the only existing evidence possible concerning our natures is predetermined to show us to be psychopaths. This is not science, but a form of intellectual burning at the stake of unpopular persons or ideas. Epistemological self-consciousness is needed to preserve us from objectifying our limitations and prejudices into a science or philosophy. This is precisely what is lacking in the modern world. Men's limitations have become their standards, and their yardsticks legislate their errors into science. A truly biblical epistemology will be aware of its limitations and aware also of the impossibility of gaining exhaustive knowledge. Exhaustive knowledge is a legitimate humanistic goal. For the Christian, it is an impossible and illegitimate goal, and this imposes a necessary humility on him. Too commonly, Christianity has been governed by Aristotelian or Neoplatonic epistemologies, and hence singularly lacking in the Christian grace of humility. Moreover, the fact that, for the Christian, true knowledge must be grounded on revelation, and this fact is a judgment on the supposed autonomy and ultimacy of human rationality. Where revelation governs man's epistemology, it means that the world is undergirded by the certainties of God, but man's realm and reason cannot claim the same certainties. Epistemology, then, is a recognition of the limitations as well as the real powers of human knowledge, as well as a self-conscious recognition of the presuppositions inescapable to all knowledge. This has been a Chalcedon Foundation production, produced by Grace Community School and Nicene Covenant Church, published by Ross House Books, copyright 1965-2002, Mark R. Rushdoony. If you have enjoyed this audiobook, be sure to visit chalcedon.edu for more books and Audiobooks by Russus John Rushdoony.